Judge? Get in the picture. Maybe I need to move over and get in the picture. Well, it's a great privilege and a great honor for me to be able to select Judge Judith French to the Ohio Supreme Court. Let me just kind of talk to you about this because I know one of the staff called down to Cincinnati to say that the judge was picked, and they said, oh, well, we all knew she was going to be picked, okay? Let me just make a couple things clear. I never had met Judy French or spoken with her until yesterday. She said that I ran into her in an elevator once, and several years ago, before I was governor, and I should remember it, but I just don't. And so when it comes to these appointments, and I know you're not going to believe me, when it comes to these appointments, we really are just trying to pick the best people. We don't want political hacks or friend of governor or friend of somebody that's a friend of the governor. We don't want that. And I think we've demonstrated that with our university picks. When it came to this, this, is just a big deal for me personally to be able to pick somebody for the Supreme Court of the state of Ohio. We created a kind of an advisory group. It wasn't kind of, it was an advisory group. We had 13 candidates. Excuse me. I think we really should have had more than 13 candidates, but we had 13 candidates because people sort of felt that their fix was in. It was going to just be political mumbo-jumbo. In fact, Jonathan Adler, who sort of served as the informal chairman of this little advisory group, had his professors at his school kind of say, oh yeah, here goes politics. And I said, doctor, how's it gone? He said, there hadn't been any politics in it. I met with the advisory group, and well, with my inner team, Mike Roadhouse, chief counsel, and Diane Bry. And they said, what do you want? And I said, well, I'd like somebody that is kind of grounded in common sense. I was very involved in helping my second grade classmate become a federal judge. He's a Democrat. Why did I push him? Because I knew he had common sense and was kind of a conservative guy. And he got appointed to the federal bench. And since that time, Dave has done a great job over in Pittsburgh. He's been a good judge. I don't know all his decisions, but I'm confident he makes common sense decisions. Secondly, you obviously want to have somebody who has very high integrity and really great character. I told him that as well. And I said, and I want you to disregard the politics. And this is going to be your recommendation. I'm not going to interfere with what you are doing. And it's the same way we do all of our other appointments. Basically, they come to me over time. And in fact, I had just a couple people try to lobby me for a particular candidate. And I said, I don't know why you are talking to me, because I'm not making this decision until it gets to my desk. And at that point, I always am in a position of where I take a look at the prospects, and I kind of decide at that point what I want. But the screening process was extensive. My understanding is that upon the first round, the judge didn't do so hot. She may have been a little nervous. I don't know if you knew that or not. I didn't know this because I didn't know how it was all going. But she came back strong in the second round. And she's been a judge, obviously, on the Court of Appeals. She was appointed to that position. She was then elected to that position soon after that. She has appeared before the U.S. Supreme Court with Ted Olson and Ken Starr arguing about her. She did very, very well at that. She's also, I'm told, I just found this out 2 minutes ago, she also was a traveling but sitting judge on the Ohio Supreme Court for some of the cases. And it was also important that we pick somebody who, in many ways would kind of be in the same mold as Judge Stratton, who's done a fantastic job over there, and she's now going to move into more of her work, which is connected to her heart and the things that she thinks are critical, catch court, human trafficking. And I know that we didn't even get into this, but I know that by picking Judge French, she's concerned about things just beyond just the legal mumbo-jumbo that they face from time to time. I met with the committee one other time during the process. I suggested that they pick this advisory group. I suggested they pick somebody who's going to serve as the chairperson. I didn't want it to be anybody in my office, and Miss Dr. Adler was, I think he's a doctor, isn't he? Professor Adler was picked as the informal head of this advisory group. At the end of the day, as I thought about who would be best, I'm really happy we have such a qualified woman. I like that very, very much. As the father of twin girls, I hope somebody will remember that when my daughters come up for appointment to something. But this is somebody who's very, very smart. She grew up in the Mahoning Valley. I said it was Youngstown. She said it was Sebring. I never heard of Sebring. But those Mahoning Valley values of common sense, which are exactly the values that we had in the Keys Rocks. Honor, fear of God, common sense, love your neighbor, come to help whenever the time is necessary. Those kinds of values are the values to me that are just so important as a bedrock of our country and our state. And so I was delighted to find out that she's from that Mahoning Valley. She went to Ohio State, her undergraduate degree, and she got a master's at the same time, pretty amazing, with some of the people up in the military history area, and then, of course, received her law degree from Ohio State. She's going to be a great judge and a great addition, and I also think she'll be a strong candidate when the time comes for her to run. She's got a lot of fire in her, and I'm just very, very excited to do this. But I just want everybody to know, when these other appointments arise, big appointments, we're going to do the best we can to strip out the politics. Can't always strip all of it out. We don't even strip it out in our own homes, but strip out the bulk of the politics and try to make a selection that's going to really improve any of the institutions in which we have the privilege of being able to appoint somebody. So, without any further ado, I would introduce to you Judge Judy Frank.